Good evening and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. I'm Katie Looper leading our news tonight. Longtime Fairbanksian broadcaster Jerry Evans has lost his job at KUAC. Evans has been a director at the public broadcasting station for the past 6 years. KUAC officials say reduced funding to the University of Alaska Fairbanks led to Evans' layoff. The cut of Evans' job and other personnel reductions will mean a savings of about $170,000. KUAC officials had planned to drop the station's membership in the Alaska Public Radio Network to save money, but they later changed their minds. Evans has been broadcasting in Fairbanks for about 30 years now and is probably best known for his work with Glenn Anderson on K-Wolf. Thursday afternoon, U.S. Senator Mark Begich put on his campaign hat while speaking with members of Alaska AFL-CIO in Fairbanks. The organization has endorsed Begich's run for re-election to the U.S. Senate seat he won in 2008. On Tuesday, former Alaska Attorney General Dan Sullivan earned the Republican nomination to challenge Begich in the November 4th general election. Begich spoke of the ability to work with the Alaska congressional delegation despite party differences and said he is better prepared for the campaign.
Opponents are all going to talk about how bad everything is, how the sky is falling. I will tell you, in 6 years, there's been some incredible improvements. Just on those 5 issues there, missile defense system moving forward, F-16s are here in Fairbanks, F-35s are coming 2 squadrons, OCS is developing, MPRA is now moving through development. That's all good news. That's jobs for this area and all of Alaska.
Huggins knew he'd be facing an opponent in the November 4th general election for his re-election bid to represent District 5. Huggins, a Republican who ran unopposed in the primary, thought he would be facing Democrat Elizabeth Clark. Instead, Clark withdrew, and the Alaska Democratic Party replaced her with local businessman Adam Wool. Wool, who owns the Blue Loon just north of Fairbanks, said he was a little apprehensive at first, but looks forward to the race.
Or meet all the people. I mean, I know a lot of people from the area already. In my business, I see a lot of people come through my door. A lot of them live out that way. So yeah, going seeing people, talking to them door to door. People probably come out and see me too. So.
It's been a busy summer at Pioneer Park, and it's nearing the end of the season. Labor Day weekend will be the official closing to the park, and this weekend they hosted the 8th annual Military Appreciation Day. Pioneer Park and several other vendors show their appreciation today by providing a free lunch, train rides, carousel rides, mini golf, and tons of prize giveaways for anyone with military ID. Jason Avery, park manager, and David Pruse of the Alaska Barbecue Association said Military Appreciation Day is a great way to give back.
I just like seeing all the families have a good time and be able to just take the day to relax, and I think that's the most important thing. And again, seeing folks from the Fairbanks community who've always been supportive of the military here in Fairbanks, and it's just another way to give back.
And they do so much for us that we're out here. We have some good members of our association. We have some good members of the legislature, some good members of Mount McKinley State Bank, some good friends of mine, and we just came out here to appreciate the military and cook them a very nice meal.
People everywhere are dumping buckets of ice water on their heads. It's time now we know why. Here's more in this report. If you've logged on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or any other social media sites, chances are your newsfeed is flooded with videos of people dumping buckets of ice water over their heads. And many of us are wondering, what is this all about? Well, the challenge went viral after a former Boston baseball player, Pete Frates, who was diagnosed with a neurodegenerative disease known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, posted a video daring a few of his friends. ALS affects the nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. Patients will slowly lose voluntary muscle movement and in the final stages of the disease become totally paralyzed. This challenge has raised over $42 million and counting, but a question raised by many is where the funds actually going. The ALS Association plans to use the funds towards researching a cure, which has not yet been found. ALS affects about 12,000 people in the United States, and Alexander Bergman from Fairbanks, Alaska, is one of them.
One of the issues that they brought up was that people who sort of latch on to this sort of fundraising technique they might do it once, but they wouldn't necessarily have any longevity as a donor.
Expert in the matter, Dr. Jonathan Sarady, says national budget cuts have stripped major medical research funds. Private donations no doubtedly are raising copious amounts of money. However, he says that's not enough means compared to the funds raised by philanthropy to support year in and year out so researchers can plan their long-term careers and experiments. Cerati told NBC News, quote, "These flash-in-the-pan things that will go away after a few months will not help the ALS in the long run. Researchers need dependable money," end quote. Alexander Bergman admires the national awareness and hopes his personal contribution to the research will further the process to finding a cure.
I think it's great. Even if nobody takes part in the challenge, at least they're learning. On a personal note, if anything comes of this, I'll be very happy because then it can be more productive. That would be great. I'm going back to the University of Washington in November and I'm going to be like, hey, how's that cure going?
This is Katie Looper reporting. We'll have more when the weekend's only televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. More on the Ice Bucket Challenge. Polaris Industry challenged its dealerships nationwide to participate in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. If 100 dealers complete the challenge today, Polaris will donate $10,000 towards ALS research. This is a video of John Haddad at the Polaris Outpost here in Fairbanks completing the challenge.
Outpost in Fairbanks, Alaska. Taking the ALS challenge. Thanks a lot, Mr. White.
All right, go for it.
Police cars, fire trucks, and a bike rodeo were all to be found at the 7th Annual Youth Safety Day. Kids learned important safety tips and practices today from several local departments. Spirit of Alaska hosted the event at the Regal Cinemas with thousands of participants. There was an abundance of things to check out, such as a bike rodeo, fire engines, police cars, a safety slide, prize table, and much more. It was an educational experience for kids to learn about important life safety practices they'll need to know. Nevada Walton, event coordinator from Spirit of Alaska Bank, explained the benefits to Safety Day.
I would say that, we really want to teach our children, we want to really empower our children to make safe choices, to have safe behaviors, to create safe environments.
No.
And it takes a community to do that. So not only, we put a lot of burden on families, but we want to be able to support those family efforts in a variety of ways.
Pioneer Park is throwing a birthday party tomorrow for a famous historic judge named James Wickersham. Wickersham obviously won't be making his 157th birthday celebration, but every year Pioneer Park likes to host a party to honor his many contributions to Alaska's history. Pioneer Park worker Steve Mitchell says most people who walk through Wickersham's original house have no clue who he is, but it turns out that Judge Wickersham is known to have made some of the deepest imprints in Alaskan history as a federal judge, member of Congress, attorney, and explorer. Some go as far to say that present-day Alaska is deeply in debt to him.
We're looking forward very much to this Sunday, August 24th. It is Judge Wickersham's 157th birthday, and we'll be having some cake and punch from 1 to 4 this Sunday afternoon. If you're not familiar with Judge Wickersham, you should be. I think it would be doubtful we'd have a city named Fairbanks without him, and I don't think we'd have a University of Alaska without his great efforts.
One Fairbanks woman is helping to pay it forward in honor of her son. Stephanie Woodard has more in this report.
Zane Jacobson was a student at Hutchison High School when he was diagnosed with a type of bone cancer just before his freshman year.
We found out on September 11, 2007, Zane had been having leg pain for about 5 months since a school trip to D.C. And this was, I think, his 3rd trip to the clinic because of the pain not getting better. And that day they did an x-ray.
Zane was able to fight his cancer for 4.5 years through multiple trips and surgeries in Washington state until he began losing his vision and his parents took him to the doctor who found a tumor spread in his brain.
So went back to Children's and they put us in a room where we all could be with him and got him pain medicines and let him have those last few days.
His mother, Ellen, started Zanes Ride project, which has allowed students to restore 2 old 1963 Chevy pickups in the Hutchinson High School Auto Body program. Those were purchased by Zane himself. When the project is completed, 1 truck will be auctioned off, with all proceeds going to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. All of this was part of Zane's final wishes. She says there has been times where she knows that Zane is watching.
We're at Lindsay's graduation at the Carlson Center, and it was raining while we were in there, and we came out, and the sun came out, and there was a double rainbow. I looked at, we would see things and have feelings that he was with us, and I said, your brother's here. And it just became something that was so important that he was trying to say, this is a good day. I'm not hurting anymore. I'm not sick anymore.
She says that is something that has kept her going. She has taken Zanes Ride project and Zane's wishes to help her go on, something she says he would have wanted.
And that's what you have to remember. You have to remember that this is something that can bring the family closer. And after that person's passed on, you have to remember that you wallowing in misery is not going to bring them back. It's not going to solve anything. It's not going to end cancer in kids. It's not going to do any of that. So that's what I do when I get up in the morning. It's like, all right, another day, and I can do it.
I'm Stephanie Woodard, reporting.
And coming up in sports tonight with Austin Buchanan, he will tell you about the Ice Dogs and why they were on the Fairbanks golf course this morning. Also, Birch Hill was full of running shoes earlier today. We'll have the results. We'll take a look at what's happening this weekend. Stay tuned.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Austin Buchanan here. Time to take a look at some sports with you. Hope you're having a great weekend on this Saturday. If not, well, sports seems to get you on the edge of your seats and on your toes. So let's talk some sports. Earlier this morning, the Ice Dogs and coaches tried to change up their hockey swing and tried to check out the golf swing. Why? We'll have more right here.
This morning, the Ice Dogs made their appearance, but not on the hard ice, but on the golf course. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs, home of the 2013-2014 Robertson Cup champions, held their 14th annual golf scramble at the Fairbanks Golf Course, with all the players appearing, some playing in the scramble, while some was there to meet Ice Dog fans. Not only was it players chipping away, but also the coaches, along with the general manager for the Ice Dogs, Rob Profit, participating in this fundraiser.
Yeah, it's our 14th annual. I mean, it's turned into almost a meet and greet, if you will. All the players come in and kind of see what the community is all about, which there's no better place to play junior hockey, you know. And they get here for a day, kind of get their feet on the ground, understand what this community is about, and then hit the hard water tomorrow morning for the start of training camp.
One player says he's excited to be here in Fairbanks for his rookie season with the Ice Dogs.
I'm from Lino Lakes, Minnesota. It's right outside St. Paul, and actually both Growskis are also from there, and then Packy Munson is nearby, but I played high school hockey through Minnesota the last couple of years for Centennial High School, and had last good 2 years made it to the state tournament.
Ice Dogs head coach tells us how he feels about the start of the season.
I'm excited. I know there's a lot of new faces that we've done a lot of homework on. We're excited about them being here, and a lot of competitive players, and the expectations are high, which they should be, and I'm just excited to get going tomorrow.
Birch Hill Recreation Area came alive this morning for the 7th annual Seekins 4 Golden Trail Run. The event kicked off with a 1K run for racers under 8 years of age, and a group of 7 athletes took off and pounded the dirt. The first 1K winner would be Eli Steer, as the 7-year-old finishes in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. The girls' 1K win goes to Reed Merrill after the 5-year-old finished the course in 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Then the 8 to 14 age group lines up and takes off for a 2.5K run throughout Birch Hill trails, and it's a tight pack at the front early. And then Area Instead pulls away during the final kilometer and cruises to a victory with a 10-minute and 22-second finish. Instead, the 5K race would finish the event as a large group of runners bolt and climb the hill. Devin McDowell will lead the charge throughout and through as he was pushed by Joe Boo for the first half of the race. McDowell pulls away down the stretch and takes the win in race number 7 of the Flint Hills Cup Series with a time of 16 minutes and 36 seconds. McDowell beats Boo by 20 seconds, but that pair was minutes ahead of the crowd. Patrick Sartz takes third with an 18-minute and 22-second finish. The win gives McDowell 4 straight summer race victories, and he has locked up the 2014 Flint Cup title.
You know, I don't know, I was just kept on pushing up those hills, and we managed to make a little bit of a distance on them, and, you know, just trying to keep on going. You know, my legs were burning, but yeah, no, it felt pretty good. Just had a good run.
All right, happening this weekend, if you're looking for something to do or to go to with the family, here's a sports outlook. Check out the Mud Bugs tomorrow afternoon, and also don't forget about the Ice Dogs are scrimmaging at the Patty Center tomorrow night at 5:30 and 7:30. It's open to the public and free of charge. Happening tonight is race day at Mitchell Speedway. Races start at 6:30 tonight. And also high school football action is Lathrop takes on Kenai. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. at Lathrop High School Stadium. And now wrap it up for sports tonight. Thanks for checking out some sports with me. For more on KTVF Sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app. Katie Looper has your full weather forecast coming up next. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Alaska, or Interior Alaska. I'll be Buchanan, Katie Looper. Katie, temperatures, it's a little hot, but
I know, it's getting a little too cold for that ice bucket challenge, for me at least.
That gives me a hint. Gives me a hint. So
Oh,
I might have to do the challenge and then challenge a couple people. So you and Joe maybe you'd be on the watch list. Watch list. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it, the watch list.
All right. Well, we'll look at our weather now, and there's a normal high today of 66 and a normal low of 44. Our record high was 83 in 1957 and record low of 33 in 1943. The sunrise and sunset equals 16 hours and 25 minutes of daylight, giving us a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. And around the state today, we'll start with our southeast side. It's rainy in Juneau at 61 and mostly sunny in Ketchikan at 70. Anchorage and South Central are mostly sunny, however, with likely rain and temperatures in the mid-60s. It's cloudy on the west side of the state near Coal Bay and Bethel. They're in the low to mid-60s. But moving up north, it's chilly in Barrow around 40. Fort Yukon and Fairbanks interior area is mostly sunny in the mid-70s. Now let's go to our lower 48, starting on the northwest side of the states. It looks to be sunny in the low 80s, traveling down south to the Las Vegas and Phoenix region. It's in the low 90s. And as we move east, it shows rainstorms in the Midwest region near Minneapolis. Light rainstorms are expected in the deep south and Miami area, with temperatures ranging in the high 80s to low 90s. And up the East Coast, they've got cloudy skies around the high 70s to low 80s. Now let's check out our outlook for next week. Hot weather is coming in from the west coast and moving northeast. There's lots of moisture down south and colder, humid weather moving across the north. But now let's look back in Alaska, starting with the north slope. Fort Yukon is partly sunny. Nome and Barrow are mostly cloudy with scattered rain showers. Barrow and Fort Yukon are 67 and Nome is at 60. Back home in the interior, there's mostly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers, and temperatures are ranging in the 60s. And for the southeast side of Alaska, there's some rain in Juneau and a chance for rain in Ketchikan, and temperatures in the low 60s. But now as we move west, we can expect it to be mostly cloudy with isolated rain showers across the region and patchy fog in Cold Bay. Temperatures are in the low 60s as well. And lastly, for our south central region, it's to be mostly cloudy with periods of light rain and temperatures in the high 50s to low 60s. And for your outlook for tonight, it's to be a little cloudy with isolated rain showers around 50 degrees. And for tomorrow's outlook, it's to be in the mid-60s to low 70s with mostly cloudy skies and scattered rain showers. And lastly, for our extended forecast, We should expect some isolated rain and thunderstorms on Monday and Tuesday, although Wednesday through Friday there's just a small chance of rain. And yeah, so the end of the week looks like it might be clearing up for us. Let's hope.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope for some more sunshine. The rain's going to come, but that means, Friday night football is going to be interesting with all the rain. I know, back at home when it rains, everybody loved it because it's like slide in the mud and catch and stuff like that.
Rain in Alaska
it's hard to report out in the rain, that's for sure.
Exactly. So. Rain in Alaska is not necessarily the greatest. It's so cold anyways.
Cold, yeah. I'll say cold when it gets below 20. I'm very interested. I got to go take my pictures in front of the
in front of the UAS sign.
Yeah.
Yep, everybody does that. You got to get in your swimsuit for it.
What? The swimsuit?
Oh, you didn't know that part?
No. Next one, be telling me I got to do the ice bucket challenge out there. So.
Oh, not a bad idea.
I know. I might have to do that.
Well, that's going to wrap up our Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News, and we're glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt is coming up next.
And join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
And from all of us here at the News Center, have a good night.